Hello, everybody. I hope you're enjoying the class so far. This is our first discussion question for this particular class, and I wanted just to spend a few minutes talking about the whole concept of the community risk assessment. Each of you, the three of you, have had the community risk reduction course, and we talked there about community assessment and doing a risk assessment. When we're talking about the risk assessment for disaster and emergency planning, it's the same but different. You can certainly use this process for your risk reduction programs or for your disaster planning or for a whole host of other issues and concepts, staffing issues, and all those kinds of things. Certainly looking at our community is that the first place that we need to start when we are doing planning for anything within emergency services. But when we're talking about community risk assessment for disaster planning, there's some more things that factor in there than with our community risk reduction type of community assessment. Of course, we look at the hazard analysis. What can happen in this community? What can be our worst enemy, I guess, if you will, or what are we susceptible to? Hurricanes, tornadoes, depends on where you live as to what your assessment might be. Flooding, natural disasters, what kind of man-made disasters or intentional disasters, as some people refer to them, might we encounter? And even in the sense of what we define as a disaster. For smaller communities, a large residential fire can be a disaster because it impacts the ability of that community or the resources of that community to respond to that event. So a lot of things factor into the community risk assessment and that hazard analysis. But some of the things that I think are most important, and I'm going to kind of cheat and go through your book a little bit, where it talks about the societal analysis, the economic analysis, and the environmental analysis. And this is something that we really don't think about when we are looking at it from a community risk reduction standpoint. And that what is going to be the impact on society? What is going to be the economic impact? Is, if a tornado takes out a large employer in your community, there's going to be a significant economic impact if that company decides not to rebuild, or just even if it takes a while to rebuild. So looking at those kind of things. And then the environmental impact. Where are your hazardous materials located? I used to work in a community that had a large industrial park and base. And so we had a lot of hazardous materials located in that area. And so if there was any sort of natural or intentional disaster in that area, we really had to be prepared for that to be able to deal with those kinds of things. So when we're talking about the community risk assessment, it is a little bit different than what we are talking about for your community risk reduction when we're designing programs and planning programs. And it's not to say that our community risk reduction program, if you have an area that is prone to flooding and floods all the time, then part of your community risk reduction program can be dealing with that or preparing people for that type of an incident. But we want to make sure that we look at all the things that are impacted from natural and man-made disasters. So in this discussion question, what I want you to do is to look at your own community and tell us about some of those major impacted areas. If a business does shut down, is it going to have a large economic impact? If the building is destroyed, if the building, or if how are the people? What is going to be the impact on the people? Do you have a lot of elderly people in that particular area, or low-income people? Because we know those are individuals that are at a higher risk. And also just the environmental impact. What can be, if you do have this hazardous material spill or this big train accident, what can be the impact on the environment. So pick one of those areas in your community and tell us about it. And how you deal with it, or how you have planned to deal with it in your community. For those of you that may not have a specific community, you can look at where you work or what your background is. I know, Ariel, you can look at it from a military standpoint. Philip, your community is the airport. And so you can look at it from that standpoint of what can happen at the airport, or the different areas of the airport, and what would be the economic or the societal or the environmental impact on those kinds of things. So for this discussion question, we want you to look a little deeper into your community, and also thinking about the natural disasters that can occur in your area, and what the impact those would be on your community and the services that it provides. If you have any questions, just let me know, and I look forward to reading your responses. Thank you.